What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode what is this? Episode 6?
Yeah,
5, 6.
five,
Episode
six.
6 of The Sound of Sports with me, Austin Eckenrode,
Me, Ty Stauffer.
and a very, very special guest, Kade Kohler.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the podcast. Guest number 1. It's gonna be great.
Honored to be the first guest here, guys.
Of course,
Should be.
of course.
Biggest podcast in the world.
The world. Okay, so explain what you do.
So I've been playing hockey now for about 11, 12 years, ever since I was like 4. Getting pretty good at it, I think.
Pretty
now.
good, you think?
I'm okay.
Are you like Wayne
I'm
Gretzky?
alright.
Wayne Gretzky levels, or
No, I'm
Crosby?
just okay,
No, okay. So that basically answers what our first question was going to be is how long have you been playing hockey? So about 11 years. That's a long time.
Why'd you start playing hockey?
Well, I first got into hockey because my grandparents would take me to Hershey Bears games, actually.
Oh, okay.
We had like season tickets there, so I got into it from watching them.
I remember like when I was a youngin' always going to the Hershey Bears games, and like going there now, it's almost like dead.
Yeah.
It's like there's like nobody
Yeah.
there. It's like a ghost town. We only go for the free Hershey Park tickets.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting to see. Are they any good? Are they?
I believe they were pretty good this year. I don't follow the AHL that much, but I'm pretty sure they were good.
In the AHL, that's is that one step down from the
Yes,
NHL?
that's
Okay, that's
step
one
below
step down.
NHL.
Could you start on that team right now?
No way.
No
No.
way.
Not even close.
No.
Are they like how far above you do you think they are skill wise?
Pretty far.
Pretty far.
Far.
Yeah,
So and then the NHL is even farther.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so how much time, like estimate how much time you think you've contributed to the sport of hockey?
In total,
Yeah.
10 years.
like a lot.
Duh.
Yeah, like I don't know, like a number of hours, probably like.
How much of your day, like just on like a normal day, do you like dedicate to like working out for hockey or stuff like that?
Working out's normally like probably 2 hours a day, and then I'll like either watch or study film of myself for like another hour and a half, probably.
What kind of drills do you go over at home? Is it more just like floor hockey at that point, or do you go to
Well,
like a rink?
I do like all kinds of strength conditioning workouts, but then I have like a net and like synthetic ice tiles at my house that I
Okay.
work on hockey specific stuff.
That makes sense. Well, it's probably a lot of time since 11 years.
Yeah.
And like, would you say it's every day?
Yes.
Every day?
Yeah.
That like, how often do you think you just like take a break? You're like, I don't feel like it today, or is it never that mentality?
Normally it's never that unless I'm like away and I can't
Okay.
do something, but normally every day I'm doing something.
Okay, so would you like to explain to us your current situation in your hockey career?
Well, in mid-August I am moving to Maine for the school year
Wow.
to play for a team up there. Going to a private Catholic school there because I got an opportunity to play for the Maine Nordiques developmental program, which is, they have a junior team, so it's a pretty good opportunity for me. So I'll be living there with my team in a house and leaving school halfway through the day to go practice and just take my career further.
How much of a difference do you think it's going to be from your normal life here at lonely old Northeastern to move up to Maine to practice with some of the best in the country?
It's definitely gonna take some getting used to. I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm ready to have that step up, but I've never been through anything like that, so it's gonna be different getting used to being away from my family.
Well, you better get used to it, Mr. NHL.
So, of course, the question that everyone is wondering, what are your chances of being NHL bound if you keep up with your daily routines and your constant practice?
I really can't speak on that because, you know, I'm gonna do everything it takes, but it is a very small chance of a single person to make it to that level.
Humble man.
Humble man. I have faith in you, though.
Thank
We all have faith in you. I'm sure the work you still have to put in is ginormous. I know getting into any professional sport, whether it's NBA or NFL or NHL or MLB
Or golf.
or even golf.
Shout out to golf.
Shout out to golf. It's literally so much, and I'm sure you're on the right path to making it.
I like to
And
think
if you
so, yeah.
and if you just keep exerting yourself, I believe you will be on the path there. I'm no hockey expert, but that's what I just think. So, like, another question on your main situation, like, what's the family situation going to be like?
As far as my family?
Yeah.
So my family, well, my sister goes off to college, so my parents aren't going to have any kids, so they're, like, struggling getting used to that. I'll probably come back, like, a few times throughout the year for, like, Christmas or other holidays, but for the most part, I'm up there the whole time and maybe, like, come close to, like, New Jersey for a few games.
Okay. So it's almost like a college type environment.
Yeah, it's definitely like that.
Okay. Well, you wanna hit the next one?
And the next one, we're gonna skip around a little bit.
All right, that's fine.
So speaking about your skill, we've heard you have some like showcase thing that's like sponsored by Wendy's or something like that.
Ooh.
Yes, the Liberty Bell games. That is, I consider it a showcase. It's for some of the, I guess, best quote unquote players up and down the East Coast. They're from all over the place, but you get selected and you play for a charity. It's 6 different teams at the level I'm at, and you play in like a tournament style, and the winning team gets more money for their charity. And it's sponsored by Wendy's and the New Jersey Devils of the NHL. And this year, one of the main charities is John Bon Jovi's Soup Kitchen, which is a big thing.
You're an ass, you know that? 72 pictures on my phone. What's wrong with you?
You really interrupted our podcast today.
Restart it. Who cares?
Nick, it was going good.
You're gonna get like 10 views anyway. 20 depending on how much editing I do. And promoting all
You, Nick.
followers.
Just leave.
Sorry about him.
Sorry.
He's a little bitch sometimes. All right, so we're gonna have to make a cut there somewhere. And, I heard you say something about East Coast and West Coast players. Is there any type of skill gap between those two?
No, there's players of each. Like, this event is just East Coast, but there's great players on both coasts. It doesn't really matter.
And I know some of the more more hockey players around this area are more involved with the New Jersey Devils or some Devils team. Is that right? Is that?
The York Devils?
That's it. The York Devils. The York Devils.
Which is not a good team.
Is that not a good team?
No.
I'm sorry, York Devils. Didn't mean to throw you under the bus. I hear hockey team, and I'm like, oh, okay. So you'd say you're miles above anybody on that team.
I'm not.
You could play for that team.
I could
You
play
can
that
play
team,
for the
and
team.
I've never picked up a hockey stick in my life. Well, that's very funny. So
He's not throwing any heat. That's just us.
That's us throwing heat.
They're at a lower level. They're not as serious. Like, they're
Okay.
That's just saying he's really good.
not.
He's
No,
more committed.
Not at all. No,
I don't know. We think you're pretty good.
I'm not saying that.
No, we are.
Humble guy. We are.
Humble.
Guy.
You know, he's been invited to some showcase sponsored by Wendy's and the best in the East.
The best
and
in the
he's
East.
and he's
Yeah, he's just.
he's
not that.
He's
great.
all right.
Yeah, I think he's lying.
Cat.
You're capping. Okay, so what would you say your motivation is, just to keep going?
Well, I guess it's always just been a dream of mine. So, like, my dreams drive me. And another thing is, like, I've always wanted to, like, be able to support my parents when I get older, and I know that if I make it to the big times, then I can do that. So I think that really helps drive me to be better for my parents and be able to support them when I'm older.
Are there any like players in general that like motivate you to be better?
Well, I've been watching Austin Matthews past.
Must be a good guy. I like the name.
Yeah, he's I play a different position, but I like the way he represents himself and is a good guy. So he's really not even on the ice, but off the ice, he's a good kid and a really good player. So.
And any players that you looked up to when you were younger that you're like, I want to be exactly like him?
Or better?
So when I was younger, I used to watch Matthew Perreault when he was on the Hershey Bears. He's not a very well-known guy. He plays for the Winnipeg Jets now. But I always watched him when I was younger. And
Excuse me, but is that like professional or is it like the same league as the
Winnipeg
Hershey?
Jets is NHL.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
We're
not
too-
very.
We're not NHL hockey connoisseurs like
Nah, that's why we brought him in.
Yeah.
to speak on behalf of the hockey community. Okay, so the Winnipeg Jets.
So why was he your guy?
Well, I grew up watching him on the Hershey Bears, and honestly, I liked his hair. He has good hockey flow.
Man.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm not
inspired.
there yet. Kinda.
Sometimes for smaller children, when they see any type of sports, it's usually the facial or the physical definition of them that will draw them to them. Like me, when I was a little young Austin, watching the Steelers games, Troy Polamalu with the long, luscious locks, I was like, that's my man right
Head
there.
and shoulders.
That's my man right there. And people all like that. It's just, it'll inspire you. It'll inspire you. But let's move on.
So why haven't you cut it into a mullet yet? Like most hockey players.
I'm not a mullet guy.
No?
I just don't
Gotta
think
keep
I
it
rock one.
party all around, not just in the back.
Yep.
I respect it. The mullet's I feel like it's kind of coming back, but I'm kind of scared.
It depends how you do it. Like some of the times it's all right, but
some people can rock it.
Exactly.
Others
cannot.
Cole Perry cannot. Cut it, buddy.
Shots fired!
We might want to cut that.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't care.
Oh man.
I'll cut his hair. Come here, Cole. I'll cut it for you.
Oh well, Nick, cut that out. Cut that out. We're not gonna roll with that. We're not gonna roll with that. No bullying of other people.
Oh, I didn't say.
Okay, ready? Boom. Speaking on just in-game playing, what was the hardest hit you've ever taken?
Hardest hit, I would probably say I was up in Boston at a tournament playing a team from Florida actually, and there was this big kid. Who was
They have hockey in Florida.
Yeah, they have some of the best teams in the country in Florida actually. Yeah, Florida
Really?
Alliance. Yeah, they're really good.
Huh.
But this one kid was about like 6'3", I would say at the time, and I made a pass and I knew he was coming, but I had to make the play anyways, and he rocked me. I hit my back on the lip of the boards. It's just like a stanchion piece, and my back's been screwed up ever since.
Ooh. Hockey players are some of the toughest people out there. I'm watching the highlights of the people just getting blown up or just like slammed against the glass. I'm like,
And then they're actually allowed to fight each other.
They are.
You got any fight stories?
We're not allowed to fight until you get to juniors or pros, but we do get into some scraps. We just can't take our helmets and gloves off. But
Okay.
So can you still hit each other with gloves?
We can still hit, and we throw punches all the time. If we take them off, then we get kicked out.
A clean elbow.
Yeah. I heard this man tried to take on 4 people last year.
4 people at once.
I did.
How'd that go?
Actually, pretty well. I was mad.
You were mad, so
Yeah.
you're just seeing red. It's like everybody.
Yeah, he thought they were all KJ Hamler. He's like, oh boy.
Move out of the way. So, more about the hardest hit. What was the hardest hit that you've ever given?
I've ever given? Well, the one I can think of actually happened this past year, and I actually went down too, but we were playing actually the number 1 team in the country at the time, and me and another kid collided head on, and he's actually committed to University of Michigan, I believe. So he's good on his skates. He skates well, and we went head on and both went back and just fell opposite ways.
And he's paralyzed now, and he lost that scholarship.
Yeah, no.
His life is ruined because of you.
Yeah.
Imagine. Like, I wonder how scary that must be to be out there knowing that you could just have a career-ending injury just like that.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna ruin his whole mentality.
Yeah,
He's probably never even thought about that.
Oh, you must have
You just
thought about
ruined
that.
it.
You must have thought about that so much. It's a real man sport, and apparently I'm not a real man because I will not play hockey because I don't want to die.
There's definitely been some scary times with some concussions.
I can imagine. So, more on the NHL. Do you want to hit this one? That one.
Yeah, I said.
Hey.
I'll just give me a minute. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So
guys.
right now, if you were in the draft, what would your top 3 teams you would want to be drafted to? Not just because your favorite team, but that would fit. You would fit the best in.
Honestly, that's hard to say because till I'm there, their environment's going to change a lot. But obviously, I'm a Washington Capitals fan, so it'd be pretty cool to go there and be able to play for the team that I've watched growing up. and play with some of people I looked up to as a young kid. I've heard a lot of people say that the Pittsburgh Penguins facility and their people and stuff is one of the best environments in the league, which they're the rival of my team, but I gotta respect them for that. So I'd probably say them too.
I mean, for a non-hockey person, when you say hockey, that's like one of the first teams you think of. Would you agree?
I think of the Penguins, the Flyers. I think of the Sharks, the San Jose Sharks, just because I like sharks. I think it's a cool.
Yeah, if you're speaking hockey, I mean, Penguins is
you think
the first thing.
Well, it's mainly because we're around the Penguins.
But I mean, have the Penguins ever been bad in recent years?
Not in recent years, no.
In recent years, okay. Well, so since me and Ty know absolutely nothing about hockey, we asked our friend Kade here to give us the top 5 NHL teams heading into the next season. So we are going to cut, and he is going to give us those. All right, we're back, and Kade, would you like to give us with the top 5 NHL teams heading into next season?
So heading into the 2014 playoff coming up, I would say number 5 would have to be the Vegas Golden Knights. They are talked about as being one of the hub cities, which their facility and their culture there is crazy to play in, and it's just a great hockey town, even though it's one of the newest ones. So I say their fans and their arena give them a great advantage going into playoffs. Number 4, I would have to say Colorado Avalanche. They have a great young core. They're speed up front. They got Kale McCarr back on D. They're going to be pretty good going in. They got some star power. I'm looking for them to bring out some big moments coming in the playoffs.
So what you're saying is, if you were on the team, they'd win?
No.
Easily?
I think that's what you're saying.
I think that's what you're saying. Big moments, big hair,
I'd probably
big everywhere.
Big effort.
Big effort.
So I hear you talking about this, the facilities and the culture. How important is that to a really good hockey team?
Well, it especially becomes important in playoffs, because as you go in as an opposing team and the fans are crazy and going out of nowhere and just yelling everywhere, it really creates a special moment and special play atmosphere. It's crazy to do. I haven't been that big a scale yet, but when I've been to some crazy away games, it's definitely harder to play.
The hype of the crowd.
Yes.
And that works with any sport.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Browns.
The Browns.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
Or if you're the Chargers and nobody shows up to your home games.
Melvin Gordon said he'd be fine with playing with no fans because he's used to it.
He's used to it because the Chargers have no fans. Sorry, Chargers fans. But you want to hit us with your number 3?
Number 3, I would say Pittsburgh Penguins. And this hurts me to say because I want the Capitals to be in there, but the Capitals I don't think they have it this year. Holtby's been shaky, so I think the Penguins are still built to win in the playoffs. They are soon going to be going out of that, but they just have too much star power and too much depth to not be a contender in there.
Now, are the playoffs going to be a bracket tournament thing?
This year it's a 2014 playoff. There's the top 4 teams from each conference play a round robin for the top 4 seeds. And then there's 8 teams from each conference that play a 5-game series to make it into the actual playoffs.
So sort of like the NBA. But they're just doing the last teams, and they have number 1 seeds and everything.
Okay. And would you say that Crosby is sort of the best player in the league currently?
Me personally, I would say Crosby is still. McDavid's coming up close, but Crosby's just got a more complete game defensively. He gets back more, and to me, I just haven't seen enough of McDavid to make him overpass Crosby yet.
So it's kind of like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
The one is kind of the elder, and the one is kind of the upcoming star that could have the possibility to pass him.
So is that a good comparison, or is the second guy not as good?
A lot of people would say McDavid's already better. I just don't see it yet. It could be because I watch Crosby more too, but
You're just missing that experience aspect.
yeah, they're really close though.
Okay, so it's a lot like that.
So after the Penguins, who are you giving to?
This is number 1 now?
2.
Yeah, number 2, okay. Number 2, I have to say St. Louis Blues. Because they won last year. They're still got a lot of their roster. They know how to win. They weren't expected to do good at all last year and overcame the odds. I still think they have a solid squad, and I just think their experience from last year, and they got some age up front. They're just going to be a solid contender.
All right.
So speaking of age, now most hockey players, do they play like older than
what's
most?
their
What's the average age?
So normally when you get to be around 40, you retire.
40.
Which, yeah,
Okay, so
it's
I think
that's
that's
normal.
older.
That
That's
is
older
older.
than I was
The
thinking.
NFL
Like
and stuff,
35 was
Yeah,
at
'cause-
least the most.
Because usually most
No.
guys in the NFL are retiring.
Like Gronk retired when he was like 29.
Well, but he's coming
of
back.
course.
Like
Megatron
the regular, but they all retired early. Like regular's like 32, and that's if you're not a quarterback. Like if
Yeah.
you're a quarterback, you can play until you're at least 35.
for Tom Brady.
He's almost 45.
That's old.
Yeah, now not everyone goes there. That's more on the older end. Some go at like 35, but normally they're older than most sports. And then in some cases, you got like Jaromir Jagr, who was a legend and didn't retire until 45, I think it was. 45 or 46.
Like if you're that old and you're still out there skating, taking hits.
That's
like,
impressive.
that's impressive. And you gotta be careful because you can just you can blow a knee out and you're done.
And he was good too for being that old. Like
Wow.
he dropped off obviously, but he was still pretty good.
There's some teachers younger than that I know, like Travis Clemens. He could not even probably can't even run up and down a basketball court.
Calling you out, Clemens.
Like,
Throwing you out race claims.
And there's
you
these-
versus Ty.
yeah, easy dubs, taking it all day. Like 46 and still playing in the NHL. Like I don't know any 46-year-olds that athletic or
Yeah, even like
in shape.
I don't want to keep going back to Tom Brady, but he is not fast at all.
Well, I
When
mean, you
see
don't
him
gotta be
run,
fast. I'm
he's
just
a- he's a
saying.
pocket passer.
I'm just saying.
All right, number
Condition
one.
wise,
Let's hear it.
Number 1, I gotta go for
San
Boston.
Jose Sharks.
No, not even close. Boston Bruins, I gotta say, are gonna be good. They got David Pastrnak, Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron up front. They're carrying right now. David Pastrnak is on fire. He tied for league leading goals with Ovechkin, but he is just gonna put up some points. That whole line there is gonna do good. They got solid D, good goaltending, and they've been on a roll since the season ended. I think they're just gonna keep going, keep carrying. I definitely think they're gonna make the finals.
Okay.
do you think this whole COVID situation for having 3 months off? Do you think that affect anything? Like, is there any players who've been injured that are coming back? Kind of like Kevin Durant, if he decided to come back, which he's not.
Yeah.
But is there any players like that?
That is definitely gonna have an impact. I know the Penguins had, I think, 3 guys that were supposed to be out for the season, but now might not be because of the delay. So that'll definitely help them. They get some more depth back. And obviously, it's going to be conditioning and your shape is going to be a lot more important now. The team that's been working out, staying in shape, and practicing more is going to have an edge going into it.
So you think it's gonna be Bruins versus Blues?
Possibly, yes.
Possibly.
Again, repeat.
Okay, so I guess that's it. I guess that's it for the.
And that's probably going to be our only hockey episode ever.
Yeah, unless we have Shane Stone on, or you decide to come back
I'll definitely come back whenever.
All right.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, it sounds
Okay.
good. More the same. All right, I'm Austin.
And I'm Ty.
I'm Kade.
This has been episode 6.
Stay sporty.
Stay sporty.
See you.